video with a fantastic minecart. And in this fantastic video, I gotta say, we are doing the first video of a new series called Doing Things with Dad. And it's me and Dad in the workshop, and Dad's gonna explain you about the reflow oven, the strawberry tree, and the water sensor for it, and the 3D printer. Then we're gonna end the video. That's for the first video of the series, though. But as you know, because it's a series, it's gonna go on for a long time, and through that time, you will be seeing us do things. There'll be upgrades to the workshop, more subscribers, of course, a lot of stuff awesome. But now, over to you, Dad.
We can edit that out.
I know.
Hello, my name is Adam. I'm Jonas's father, also known as the Fantastic Minecart. I'm not the Fantastic Minecart, he is.
Yeah, duh.
I'm just Daddy.
Yeah.
So, today we're going to talk about what's a reflow oven. Part of what I do is I'm an electrical engineer. And part of being an electrical engineer is that I design things called circuit boards. And with circuit boards, you often need to specifically heat them in a certain way so that you can reflow the solder that's on them. So, for instance, this is a circuit board. Okay, this is a relay board specifically. This is an Arduino, and if you look closely, you can see all the little chips and everything, and all those chips were put on there by a reflow oven.
Here's another, that?
Which is this. This is another example of a circuit board with all the parts and stuff put on by an oven. So I want to make my own chips. I want to make my own boards. So I can pay someone hundreds of dollars a board, or $50 to $100 a board to do, or I can do it myself. So I decided to make a reflow oven. So it sounds interesting, but it's essentially just a toaster oven. Inside the toaster oven, there's gold foil, which is used to reflect the heat inside. I literally bought this toaster oven at Goodwill.
For
cost me all of $15. It looked like it had been dropped at some point in time. It looked like someone had kind of taken the ugly stick to it a little bit, but I cleaned it up. I put gold foil on the inside. You can buy this. I just bought everything on Amazon. The foil cost like $10. This is what it looks like. They often use this on on cars and mufflers and stuff like that. And it's just a fiberglass with a gold covering, and it's sticky like a tape.
So really, it's like golden tape.
Pretty much, it's golden tape. So then inside of that, I put two sensors. These are called thermocouples. And what a thermocouple does is it's an electronic thermometer. It's kind of like the thermometer that you use when you get sick, and they put it under your tongue and they tell you what the temperature is. And these boards are used to read thermocouples. Okay. Then
put on that close up.
Oh, there, go for it. Okay. And then Arduino, which many of you have probably seen, is used to control this whole thing. I saw something online about this, very similar, something from the Ben Heck show. He did something like this. His was, the first one they did was with an infrared, electronically controlled oven, and it was just way too complicated. But if you know what you're doing here, and you know how to keep things simple, you can do this very quickly and relatively cheaply. I mean, total, I've probably spent like $40 on the whole thing. So far. Well, actually, I'm almost done. So a couple of pieces that are in here. So obviously it's not wired up yet. I still have to install the thermocouple boards. I still need to install the Arduino. The Arduino, that's the controller. I also have on the way a digital screen that'll just give me some information. And I gotta wire all this up. So right now what's in here, so on the back here, this is a piece of fiberglass welding mat. It's used to control the heat. The reason that you have the gold foil on the inside is so that you also trying to keep the heat on the inside. This thing will get to well over 500 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit, and you want it so that it can very quickly go up and down in temperature. So you want to keep the heat inside. That's what the gold tape does for you. And then, of course, you have the standard heating elements that you have with any other toaster oven. So these are what's called silicon controlled relay. They're silicon relays. They're essentially like a traditional electromechanical relay, but they're in silicon instead, so they're all solid state. So they're either called an SSR, which is a solid state relay. And so those will get controlled by the Arduino. This is the 120 volt AC that's coming in from the wall. This is the 120 volt AC return, going back to the wall. This is the chassis ground line, which is also the same thing as the third prong on your a wall connection. So this will plug in to the wall like anything else. In fact, part of what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire this to a little converter so that the Arduino gets powered off the wall too. So that's the reflow oven. This hopefully will be done in the next 4 or 5 days, and we'll show more about it in the next video. Okay?
And now you're going to talk about the strawberry tree.
Yes, the strawberry tree.
And it's tiny. You can barely see it unless I close up. Water detector, which we have built like less than a week ago.
So the strawberry tree.
I'll go back so you can see all of it.
Yeah, sure. The strawberry tree is essentially we have strawberries that grow on our back deck, and I frankly I need a place to hibernate the strawberries over the winter. So these are the strawberries that grew over this last year, and they're nice and pretty. There's 5 boxes today. There'll be 3 more boxes of dirt in the future that'll go in, and so that the strawberries can. So these strawberries will come up here. There'll be some fresh boxes here. There'll be another box down there. So that when their tendrils come out, they will be able to drop more strawberries like these. See, down into the next set. Now, part of what I've done here, I'm in the middle of putting an irrigation system in, and what that means.
And this is the first part, which is a sensor inside the strawberry to tell how much water was go down to this little circuit board, was go down to this Arduino, was go into my dad's computer, which will show us on the screen.
So
we could actually put it on so they can see.
Yeah, sure.
So that's what it does.
So all this is just
though.
a quick Arduino program, and that voltage, that 3.89, or those numbers you see there, what those numbers are saying. Let's get that light away. That's better. So what that number is saying is it's just a voltage, and it gives you an idea of how much water is inside the soil.
And if you look carefully, every minute, it's a change. See, look, it just changed.
Yep.
From 389 to 388.
Yeah.
Which means the water's changing in it.
So the system that I'm going to design for this, I have another Arduino, and I have a relay control board. Okay. And these relays, and I have other sensors. See?
In this package.
Let's take a look what the sensor looks like. Oops, I dropped one. The sensor looks like that's the soil sensor. So you stick that in the ground. Okay. And this is the sensor that reads it. And
well, so the sensor thing's a nail.
Here's the sensor in the ground.
And that.
See, that's the sensor in the ground. That's the part that reads it.
And that's the
Arduino that's doing the work right now. Okay.
That's showing you that.
Arduinos are great. I can get them for $5 a piece. In fact, we were at Micro Center today, and they had them for $10 at Micro Center, but I can get them for $5. So what I've put on the strawberry tree,
which is where I'm getting my new computer.
Yes, you will get your new computer.
Which I did in my last video, by the way.
So what will happen? I put the irrigation system in here. So there are these tubes, okay, and they go all the way down here, and they stick into the plants. And I've got a pump that's on the way that will hook up to this down here, okay? And that pump will read how much water is in the soil, especially the soil humidity. And then based on the soil humidity, it will pump water into the plants so that I can be lazy and don't have to worry about them. Because I like being lazy. Some people call it laziness. I call it efficiency. So... So today we've talked here.
So today we've talked about the reflow oven and the strawberry tree, but now we're going to talk about probably the oldest piece that's in here right now, the 3D printer.
Yeah. So the 3D printer is a Prusa i3. This is something that I put together.
That he made. Homemade, literally.
Yeah. So I bought a kit, and I put it together several years ago, and I have been kind of futzing around with it for years. I use it all the time. Some of the upgrades that I've done to the original is I can have 2 extruders here if I wish. So I've got the setup for 2 extruders.
But
Right
we
now-
don't use them because it doesn't work.
Well, right now I'm using just one of them. And look at that piece of aluminum. Should probably not let that be up there. Where did that go, actually? Oh, there it is. Come here, you little piece of aluminum. So that's a piece of aluminum.
Which was probably from the 3D printer, actually.
Well, actually, no, it was when I was drilling.
Oh, yeah, probably from
Yep.
drilling.
Yep, so I was drilling. So we'll throw that in the trash. My trash.
Drilling.
Yep. So, Prusa i3, it's kind of a, so that's the controller for it.
That, by the way, we used the 3D printer to make.
Yeah, exactly. We use the 3D printer to make the controller. So here, I'll turn it on. Oh, that's bad. No, let's turn it off. Give me a second. That was just the fan.
It was the fan which has problems because, as you heard him say
There
earlier,
we go. Wait,
2 or 3 years ago.
there we go. There's the fan.
That sounds right.
So that's the fan.
And look, it's actually doing things on the
that's the
controller.
controller. See, and it's just a standard Prusa i3 controller, nothing special.
Except it has a little case around it.
Yep,
from the
that we
3D printer
printed, yeah.
that we printed.
There's all sorts of stuff we've done here. So a couple of things that we've 3D printed. One of the things I'm really kind of proud of. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. So the lab's a mess, but it's my lab.
Well, it's a lab right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's a mess right now because we haven't been doing
this
this
is a
for a while.
cyclonic separator, and I designed this. And I 3D printed it.
And oh yeah, and by the way, Lowe's, if you are watching this, you are the sponsor of this video because as you can see, this is a Lowe's bucket.
Lowe's is not the sponsor, Joe.
Well, this is a good sponsor,
No,
anyways.
I know they're not.
Good.
If the Lowe's wants to sponsor, they're welcome. But anyways, this is a cyclonic separator. I designed this several years ago. I use this all the time, and it essentially to have bought one of these would have been about $80 to $100. I printed it for about $10.
Exactly, and the only money was from the filament.
Yes. So that's all I have to say today. Jonas? Why don't you give us an outro?
So yeah, guys, so that's all for today's video. See you all in the next video on the channel. Goodbye.